Sergeant at Arms, still under order number 32.2. I want to direct that the quorum bell be further rung for another 5 minutes. Clerk, can you take us through the order of the day?
Third Assembly, third session, order paper number 170 of today, Wednesday, 24th April 2024 at 9 a.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to lay the following papers. One, pursuant to the provisions of Section 168(1) of the Public Finance and Management Act 2012, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 24th April 2024, the Kisumu County Education Fund quarterly report and financial statements for the periods ended 31st December 2023, 31st March 2024. Again, pursuant to the provision of Section 168(1) of the Public Finance and Management Act 2012, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 24th April 2024, the Kisumu County Revenue Fund quarterly report and financial statements for the period ended 31st December 2023. Madam Chair, again on behalf of the Chair, Education, Technical Training, Innovation and Social Services, Honorable Satokumu, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 24th April 2024, Kisumu County Education Fund Regulations 2023. Thank you.
Honorable members, I confirm receipt of the 3 papers laid by the Honorable Majority, that is the Kisumu County Education Fund Quarterly Report and financial statements for the periods ended 31st December 2023, the Kisumu County Fund Quarterly Reports and financial statements for the periods ended 31st March 2024, and Kisumu County Revenue Fund Quarterly Report and financial statements for the period ended 31st December 2023. All the 3 papers stand committed to the Committee of Finance, and a report should be tabled back to this Assembly within a period of 28 days. The majority has also laid a regulation on technical training, innovation, and social services. This stands committed to the Committee on Education, and a report be tabled back within 28 days. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion on the adoption of a report of Powers and Privileges Committee on the benchmarking exercise at Nakuru County Assembly by the Honorable Benson Adega.
Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to move a motion on the report of benchmarking exercise with the sister committee of Nakuru County Assembly on behalf of the Vice Chair, Honorable Adega. Madam Speaker, honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders number 194-2C, which mandates the House committees to prepare programs and activities to be undertaken in each fiscal year, the Committee on Powers and Privileges prepared its annual work plan for financial year 2023-2024, detailing errands to be transacted, which amongst them was the approved study tour with the sister committee of Nakuru County Assembly. Following the approval of the liaison committee, the Speaker of the County Assembly permitted the committee to carry out the benchmarking exercise to enable the 2 committees share and learn on best practices to adopt and achieve their mandate. Madam Speaker and other members, the scope of benchmarking exercise which the sister committee of Nakuru County Assembly was envisaged on the following terms of reference. 1, committee composition and functions. Here, the committee sought to understand the structure and responsibilities of the Committee on Powers and Privileges within the County Assembly. This included examining how the committee is constituted, its mandate, and the scope of its functions to ensure alignment with the best practices and legal requirements. Findings: the committee established 1, that both committees are established under their mandate guided by the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017 as follows. Section 15, but 1 of the Act states that there is established for each County Assembly a committee known as the Committee of Powers and Privileges, consisting of the Speaker as the chairperson and such other members of the County Assembly as may be provided in the standing orders of the County Assembly. B, Section 15, but 4 states the core functions of the committee to include investigating any alleged breach of privilege or contempt committed by a member of the County Assembly, as well as considering any matter relating to the powers and privileges of the Assembly or its members, and recommending disciplinary action when and where necessary. 2. Service of civil process. This section sought to explore the established procedures for serving civil process on members and the staff of the County Assembly, and whether there are any limitations or immunities that apply in such situations. Findings. The committee established that serving civil process on members and staff within the Assembly presence is ungoverned by several legal framework: the Civil Procedure Act, County Government Act 2012, and most importantly, the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act 2017. Freedom and immunities of members. Number 3, this section looked into the immunity of members and the extent of such immunities and freedom granted to members of the County Assembly. It explores their freedom and immunities within the Assembly and potential limitations on their actions outside the Assembly. Findings. The committee established that in both county assemblies, members' freedom of speech is safeguarded by Article 115 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and Section 8 of the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act 2017. This freedom allows for open and robust debate without fear of legal repercussions for their statements within the Assembly. Their actions outside the Assembly, however, are subject to the law. That Section 6 of the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act 2017 also give members immunity from arrest for civil debt during Assembly sessions. Number 4, prohibited acts and gross misconduct. This section attempted to identify acts prohibited within the County Assembly or by its members, what constitutes gross misconduct, and the potential penalties associated with such offenses. Findings. The committee established that apart from other laws on general ethics, what constitutes prohibited acts and gross misconduct of a member of the County Assembly is provided for by the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act 2017 and the County Assembly Standing Orders. Section 16 of the Act states that conducts that constitute breach of privilege, such as disorderly within the Assembly or disobeying the Speaker's orders. 2. Section 17 elaborates gross misconduct to encompasses acts that bring the Assembly into disrepute or violate the Leadership and Integrity Act. It also provides that penalties for misconduct range from reprimands to suspension or even expulsion from the Assembly. Privileges of witness. Here the committee attempted to examine the privileges extended to witnesses appearing before the Committee on Powers and Privileges or other committees of the County Assembly, and clarifies the protections offered to witnesses and any limitations on their testimony. Finding. The committee established that both assemblies are guided by Section 14 of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017 when it comes to the jurisdiction of privileges according to witnesses summoned by the Committee of a County Assembly. Such privileges enjoyed by the witnesses are immunity from arrest for civil matters while attending or returning from proceedings, and protection from being used for their testimony. That the witnesses can, however, be held liable for perjury or deliberately misleading the committee. 6. Offenses relating to witnesses. This section explored the potential offenses a witness might commit while in the presence of a committee of the County Assembly, and as earlier mentioned, such offenses are deliberately misleading the committee, non-compliance with summons. In case of such offenses, the committee can recommend punishment, which may include fines or imprisonment. 7. Challenges and bottlenecks. This section discussed the primary challenges faced by the committees while attempting to execute their mandate. Finding. The committee established that the two committees face similar challenges, which include 1. Limited resources for investigation, 2. Unclear procedures, 3. Difficulties in enforcing sanctions, Number 8, mechanisms to address these challenges. The committees explored the mechanism to address the challenges and established such mechanisms. That such mechanism may involve 1, strengthening internal capacity through training and skills development, 2, improving its coordination with other relevant committees and institutions. 3, revision of rules and procedures to streamline operations and ensure more efficient and effective service delivery. Committee recommendations. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee is compelled by a aforementioned mechanism and recommends as follows. 1, that while organizing for a team building exercise, the County Assembly should provide an avenue for strengthening internal capacity through training and skills development programs for its members and staff. These programs should focus on investigative techniques, the County Assembly Powers and Privileges Act, the relevant legal framework, and effective communication skills to enhance the committee's ability to handle complex cases and deliver efficient services. This should be done in the next financial year. 2, that the County Assembly should improve its coordination with other relevant committees and institutions. This can be achieved by establishing clear protocols for collaboration, information sharing on potential misconduct issues, and building strong relationships with external bodies like the EACC to leverage expertise and facilitate investigations. This will ensure a more comprehensive approach to upholding ethical conduct within the County Assembly. 3, that the County Assembly should revise the rules and procedures within its standing orders to streamline operations and ensure more efficient and effective service delivery. By ensuring efficient, transparent, and accountable procedures, the committee aims to better serve the County Assembly. Madam Speaker and honorable members, it is now a pleasure and privilege on behalf of the committee to move this motion that this House adopts the report of Powers and Privileges Committee on its benchmarking exercise with the counterpart committee of Nakuru County Assembly. And I call upon Honorable Kennedy Ouko to second. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I beg to second by the following reasons. Thank you, Majority Leader, for standing in for the Vice Chair, Powers and Privileges Committee. We went to benchmark with our sister assembly, and we are aware it is clear learning is a process, and it is a continuous process, and it reminds members and those who are concerned on matters which are very important, especially on matters concerning powers and privileges of the committee. And it is very clear, we are reminded each and every time the constitution of the committee and the mandate of the committee. And it is very important that we take this committee very serious, because it is explaining to members on a very depth way on the powers you may be possessing as a member of the county assembly, and even to the witnesses coming to the assembly. It is very clear. And even the freedom, it is clear that the freedom enjoyed and provided for in the Powers and Privileges Committee Act, some of them, it is said it should be very open, and in fact the kind of conversation should be robust. That is there. Then we also have what is called immunity. You must also know how you will exercise your immunity when you are inside the assembly, or within the precepts of the assembly, or when you are outside the assembly. It is very clear. This is where you are reminded that the privileges, even given to the witnesses, you may be given opportunity to provide a witness here, and it is your duty to explain to that witness that he has the privileges, but it is to an extent. You are not allowed to probably lie to the committee or lie to the assembly. That will attract some kind of fine. And now, we also went through some other challenges which you understand, inadequacy in terms of finance, and we also have some other, now that is the limited resources, unclear procedures for operations of the committee. It will be developed so that it becomes very clear. Now we have limitations. We are limited because probably our relations to other government agencies like ECC, it is not very clear. We need to do that. We need to expand on that. Now, within the assembly or the system itself, we also have ineffective way of which we communicate, communication skills. That needs to be enhanced very clearly, because this is a very important committee. We might pass something, it goes to the court, and probably because of the challenges of communication and the proper understanding of what we are doing, we might be challenged there. There is also what we call improper coordination. It is also affecting the assembly in one way or the other. So if you can see the recommendations, they are very clear and they are running for the benefits of the county assemblies and for the county assembly of Kisumu. Madam Speaker, I beg to second. Thank you.
Honorable members, a motion of adoption of a report by Powers and Privileges Committee on their benchmarking exercise at Nakuru County Assembly has been properly moved by the majority leader on behalf of the deputy chair and seconded. I therefore want to propose a question of debate. And the report is now open for discussion. Honorable members, once again, a motion of adoption of a report of powers and privileges on their benchmarking exercise at Nakuru County Assembly has been moved and seconded. And I've proposed a question of debate. The report is open for debate. Silence means you read the report, you either agree fully with the report, and silence could also mean that you had nothing and therefore you have nothing to say about the report. Which of the two options, honorable members, do you want me to take? Honorable Ojemo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think you are right. The mood is really ripe, and I beg the mover to reply. Thank you.
To reply.
Madam Chair.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, silence means consent. I think the members have read and they are in full agreement with this report. And I still want to inform members that it is a very important report because it talks about our freedom in this assembly and the staff. It talks about the boundaries of immunity so that you know. Madam Speaker, it also explains the witnesses' protection that in case members have issues and they bring their witnesses, then the witnesses should know that there are very heavy penalties if they lie or give wrong information. But there is one very important point that I've also picked from the report, that this is a very important committee that needs to be allocated more resources in the next financial year so that they can perform their duties well. Madam Speaker, I reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, a report has been moved, seconded, unanimously adopted, but I still want to put a question of adoption that may, as many are of the opinion that this report be adopted, say aye. May, as many of the contrary opinion, say nay. The ayes have it. And the report on the adoption of a report, the motion on adoption of a report of Powers and Privileges Committee on the benchmarking exercise with Nakuru County is adopted today, Wednesday, 24th April 2024 at 9:37 hours. This report stands committed to the Committee of Implementation that will advise the relevant committees on the way forward as regards to the report. Next order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. There's no other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, we all know that in line with the standing orders number 192, all statutory instruments, that is all regulations, when tabled, stand committed to the Committee on Delegation. So the Kisumu County Education Fund Regulation 2023 is hereby recommitted to the Committee on Delegation. Delegated House legislation that should be able to report back to the House within 28 days. Honorable members, there being no any other business, the House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, April 2024 at 2:30 p.m.